When it comes to how long do I think this is going to last, it really depends. It really depends on how serious people take the idea of self-care, self-isolating so it doesn't spread further. It also depends on if we can get actual numbers about how many people actually have coronavirus within the country. If we can act quicker than we've been acting, then I can see some of this hype dying down within 3 or 4 weeks. All right, if it's on a larger scale, then probably a couple months. That's my guess, especially before the warmer weather comes around. But at the same time, we don't know if this is going to act the same way that the standard flu strain works. It just all depends. It really does. I'd love to say 3 weeks.
Compared to other diseases, how severe do you think this is?
You know, compared to other diseases, the last major pandemic we experienced as a globe was, at least on such a grand scale, you got to take it all the way back to like 1918 with the Spanish flu. With that strain of influenza, that was devastating. In comparison to Spanish flu, it's not the same. You know, when they're talking about 80% of the population don't even need medical attention with it, when it talks about self-isolation, when it talks about getting early treatment, if anything, you know, help from the medical community, as long as we have those resources, it's not going to be on the same grand scale as other major pandemics that we've seen. Again, fingers crossed because it's still early.
What long-term impacts could you see the coronavirus having on America?
One, the social aspect of making sure that we're actually practicing good hygiene. I do think that for a time you're going to see some paranoia, especially when somebody gets a little bit of a sniffle or possibly a fever. Economic impact in the short term, it's killing us. But I do think that once things get back to normal, you're going to see the economic boom take place. I just think as time progresses on, people are going to be a little more socially conscious about spreading of germs. So I can see us all becoming germaphobes for a while.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
What long-term impacts do you think that the coronavirus will have on the world?
It's a new virus. It's a brand new virus, something that just came out. It's going to be here forever, like the regular flu, like a cold. It's a virus. It's something that we're going to have to deal with forever. So it's not going away.
How severe is this pandemic compared to others?
Throughout history, compared to others in history, this is nothing. This is nothing. Compared to the plague that struck Europe in the 14th century, this is nothing. Compared to the pandemic that struck in 1918, this is a hiccup, right? So compared to others, this is really, really minor, all right? Now, how big is it going to get? That's the wild card. Are we going to be able to isolate ourselves and protect ourselves? That's the wild card. Early on, especially in the 5th or 14th century, they didn't know what was causing it. They didn't know how to control the spread. We do know what's causing it. We do know or how to slow the spread. So we can take precautions. But how big will it get is anybody's guess.
How long do you think that this pandemic will last?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, the virus is here forever. So I would bet, let's say we get this taken care of, I think there will be sporadic outbreaks across the globe forever. But how long is it going to last here in the States is anybody's guess. I have not a clue.
All right, thank you, Mr. Klinger.